Salaji, welcome to the program. The unfortunate death so far of what we understand, 232 Palestinians and nearly 1,700 injured. At the same time, 200 Israelis have been taken out by the Palestinian resistance fighters in an operation that's beyond words in terms of its scope and the success that it has had at this point. Many deducting that this is a huge win for Palestine. How big a win is it?
I mean, this is a game changer, actually, in this battle for the liberation of Palestine. They never thought that the Palestinians would have this type of courage and such strategic plans and be able to infiltrate inside, settlements and be able to capture Israeli soldiers, such a good amount of them as well, and be able to also destroy their tanks, their Merkava tanks. You see them running and fleeing away, the Zionists, in different areas, and you see them in panic and in shock, and you see that they're very weak. Even when you see Netanyahu coming out and saying that this is a war, it's a state of war. It's been a war since the beginning, since the day they occupied this holy land for the Muslims, Christians, and Jews. They have been violating human rights, international laws, killing human beings day and night, and all of it most of it is exposed because of the media. I mean, social media, and people taking pictures of this and videos of this, and the Zionists have not been held accountable. And it's time for the Zionists to be held accountable and these criminals to be held accountable. It's time for prosecutors to prosecute these criminals. I mean, inevitably it had to get to the stage. The Palestinians had to get to a stage where they can get inside their land and take over certain areas and humiliate the Zionist regime. We see that before in 2006 and the year 2000, during the war of Lebanon, when the Israelis tried to occupy Lebanon. Same thing there. It took some time, after developments, after experience, after unification between the resistance groups and good, wise leadership. We see that Lebanon was liberated from the Zionist entity and from the Zionist soldiers, and they were kicked out, and Sharon was kicked out. And soon, hopefully, we will see Netanyahu kicked out of Palestine, and hopefully we can see him also arrested and prosecuted, exactly how we see these IDF soldiers. We see them, they were so weak. I mean, any entity that is built on oppression and stealing and being illegitimate is always weak. Now this is the revelation of this. It's revealing in front of us, and we're seeing the weakness of the Zionist entity. And like the correspondent from Palestine was just saying, that there is no innocent people there that are living. I mean, except the children, because the military system has to be in the military. From this age of 16 or 18, they're already enlisted and they have to serve in the IDF. So they're all accomplices. They're all involved in occupying and killing and murdering and somehow supporting this apartheid system. And this is a very, very happy day, I think, for every person that has been suffering, watching these videos circulate for all these years and all these times when the Israelis are killing the Palestinians or shooting them or trying to humiliate them and, trampling on humanity and also disrespecting also religious sanctities such as Al-Aqsa Mosque. That's why they call this operation Al-Aqsa Flood. I mean, it looks like a flood. You can see the people are pouring out in happiness, and people are pouring out in resistance, and the groups are unified. That's the key important thing. And not a few days ago, Imam Khamenei, there was the Unity Week for the Prophet Muhammad's birth anniversary, and we've seen that during his speech he was speaking about the unification and the fight against the colonizers and the criminals and the Zionist regime, and he said that the Zionist state is coming to its end. And unfortunately, surprisingly, we see this operation happening. The wisdom of Imam Khamenei, he always called for the unification of the Palestinians and unification of the Muslims, Imam Khamenei always called for the arming of the West Bank and different areas in Palestine to strengthen the battle against the Zionist regime, because the more armed they get, the more unified they get, the more they will be able to get closer to liberating this holy land. And we are, the happiness that we have, honestly, right now, is a happiness that we were looking for many years, and for all these times that we've been hurt and in pain. We're talking about not just us, our children, our families. When we're watching these news, my daughter sees these, she cries. She says, how am I going to go inside Palestine? How am I going to help these Palestinians? How? My little daughter sees these videos, and she says this to me all the time. And I always tell her, there will be a day you will see Palestine will be liberated, and these Israelis will pay the price for all these crimes that they've been committing for all these years. And like I said, even tears are coming down from our eyes, and we want to be part of this liberation process. I think we all have a role, and we all have a hand in this liberation process, and to support this any way possible. Social media, protesting on the streets, spreading awareness, clarifying the real picture, because now, the mainstream media is working to obviously defame the Palestinian movement and the Palestinian liberation process. And they're trying to make them and paint them as if they're killing innocent people, and that they're hurting and attacking, the Israelis, and the Israelis are innocent victims. This type of dirty game and manipulation that they're gonna work on. But we see that we're actually in a very, very good status right now, and that the Palestinian cause, it's very, very honorable, and it's very strong, and we should not deter from speaking about this cause. Even social media is censoring us to the highest level. Any video you post right now about Palestine, anything, down on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on everything. This shows you how weak this entity is, that they have full control almost of all mainstream media, and they're still trying to silence us on a little bit of social media that doesn't even really get to most of the people and all the nations, because not everybody watches social media all the time. I mean, it has a role, but it's not like the mainstream media that is streaming through people's TVs all the time, and people are usually wanting to see the updates on the stock market or the other things that has to do with local news. So, this shows how weak the entity is. This entity is falling apart, it's crumbling, it's being dismantled as we are breathing right now, and as we're moving, and as we're speaking.
Let me bring in Bruce Katz. Thank you for that, Faraz Lajim. Bruce Katz joins us, co-president